Hello dear friends, I welcome you once again in our Osho reading class. Today we are going to read out chapter 2 of Osho's book, Love, Freedom and Aloneness. The chapter 2 is titled as Real and Unreal, the first step. Though it is not mentioned here that what does this real and unreal mean, but while going through this chapter, while reading it out, you would be able to know that he is actually referring to real love and unreal love. So let us start reading this chapter. It is a wonderful chapter. One thing, a few of my friends have approached me and they asked me to include my commentary on the reading also. But I think I should avoid my comments and my commentary as much as possible. There might have been a few passages in this book where I won't be able to stop myself to comment. But I want all of you to listen to this book, to listen to the main arguments of Osho and interpret these arguments as per your own understanding, as per your own comprehension. If I started commenting on each and every passage, it would ultimately lead to restrict your space of thinking, your space of analyzing, and your space of comprehending this reading. So give your intellect, give your thoughts a free flight while listening to Osho's book. So let me start chapter 2. And this chapter once again starts with a wonderful quotation of Mahatma Buddha. So I'm going to read it out now. Love yourself and watch. Today, tomorrow, always. We begin with one of the most profound teachings of Gautama the Buddha, and that is, love yourself. Just the opposite has been taught to you by all the traditions of the world, all the civilizations, all the cultures, all the churches. They say, love others, don't love yourself. And there's a certain cunning strategy behind their teaching. So let me comment a bit on this. Actually, Osho is referring to a popular saying where people say that, where priests say, where leaders say that we should love others and we should not love ourselves. Loving oneself is believed to be something very negative of a human character. But Osho, according to Osho, this teaching, this popular narrative that is being supported by the leaders and the priests and the hegemonic classes, it is actually a cunning strategy. It is a strategy, and what kind of strategy it is? It ultimately teaching and promoting this narrative of loving others, it would ultimately serve the interest of the ruling classes, interest of the exploiters. Whether they are spiritual exploiters or they are, economic exploiters, political exploiters, whatever kind of exploiters they are. Okay, so the preceding passages actually explain this primary argument built by this assertion, this premise taken by Osho. So how he explained this, let us read him out. Love is the nourishment for the soul. Just as food is to the body, so love is to the soul. Without food, the body is weak. Without love, the soul is weak. And no state, no church, no vested interest has ever wanted people to have strong souls. So link it with the first passage. Link it with the cunning strategy of the leaders while using this narrative that love others. And no state, no church, no vested interest has ever wanted people to have strong souls, because a person with spiritual energy is bound to be rebellious. So it's the fear of rebellion, it's the fear of revolt, or it's the fear of a revolution that actually compel these ruling classes, the upper layer of a society, the elite classes, to teach and to promote and to propagate this narrative of loving others. Okay, so let us move on to the next paragraph. Love makes you rebellious, revolutionary. Love gives you wings to soar high. Love gives you insight into things so that nobody can deceive you, exploit you, oppress you. And the priests and the politicians survive only on your blood. They survive only on exploitation. All the priests and politicians are parasites. To make you spiritually weak, they have found a sure method, 100% guaranteed, and that is to teach you not to love yourself. What is the claim of priests? What is the claim of clergy? That is that they actually are the defenders of spiritual sphere of your life. But according to Osho, to make you spiritually weak, absolutely contrary to their claim, what they actually do, they try to make you spiritually weak. So to make you spiritually weak, they have found a sure method, 100% guaranteed, and that is to teach you not to love yourself, because if a man cannot love himself, he cannot love anybody else either. The teaching is very tricky. They say, love others, because they know that if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love at all. But they go on saying, love others, love humanity, love God, love nature, love your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, but don't love yourself, because to love oneself is selfish, according to them. They condemn self-love as they condemn nothing else, and they have made their teaching look very logical. They say, if you love yourself, you will become an egoist. If you love yourself, you will become narcissistic. It is not true. A man who loves himself finds that there is no ego in him. It is by loving others without loving yourself, trying to love others, that the ego arises. The missionaries, the social reformers, the social servants have the greatest ego in the world, naturally, because they think themselves to be superior human beings. They are not ordinary. Ordinary people love themselves. They love others. They love great ideals. They love God. And all their love is false, because all their love is without any roots. A man who loves himself takes the first step towards real love. It is like throwing a pebble into a silent lake. The first circular ripples will arise around the pebble, very close to the pebble. Naturally, where else can they arise? And then they will go on spreading. They will reach the farthest shore. If you stop those ripples arising close to the pebble, there will be no other ripples at all. Then you cannot hope to create ripples reaching to the farthest shores. It is impossible. So if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others, you cannot love humanity, and you cannot love your claim to love the rest of the humanity and nature and God. All these claims are false. It's self-deception, according to Osho. So he has given this analogy here, throwing a pebble into the lake, and the ripples created by that pebble, those ripples actually start appearing on the surface of the lake water, right at the spot where you have dropped that pebble. So it's the beginning point of love. The fountain of love rests within you, as per Osho's teachings. And the priests, and now he is coming towards the priests and the politicians. And the priests and the politicians became aware of the phenomena. Stop people loving themselves, and you have destroyed their capacity to love. Now whatsoever they think is love will be only pseudo. It may be duty, but not love. And duty is a 4-letter dirty word. Parents are fulfilling their duties toward their children, and then in return children will fulfill their duties toward their parents. The wife is dutiful toward her husband, and the husband is dutiful toward his wife. Where is love? Love knows nothing of duty. Duty is a burden, a formality. Love is a joy, a sharing. Love is informal. The lover never feels that he has done enough. The lover always feels that more was possible. The lover never feels, I have obliged the other. On the contrary, he feels, because my love has been received, I am obliged. The other has obliged me by receiving my gift, by not rejecting it. The man of duty thinks, I am higher, spiritual, extraordinary. Look how I serve people. These servants of the people are the most pseudo people in the world, and the most mischievous too. If we can get rid of the public servants, humanity will be unburdened, will feel very light, will be able to dance again, sing again. But for centuries your roots have been cut, poisoned. You have been made afraid of ever being in love with yourself, which is the first step of love and the first experience. A man who loves himself respects himself, and a man who loves and respects himself respects others too, because he knows just as I am, so are the others. Just as I enjoy love, respect, dignity, so do others. He becomes aware that we are not different as far as the fundamental are concerned. We are one, we are under the same law. Buddha says we live under the same eternal law. Ais Dhammo Sanantano. Sorry for misreading. I think this is in Sanskrit. In the details, we may be a little bit different from each other. That brings variety. That is beautiful. But in the foundations, we are part of one nature. But in the foundations, we are part of one nature. The man who loves himself enjoys the love so much, becomes so blissful, that the love starts overflowing. It starts reaching others. It has to reach. If you live love, you have to share it. You cannot go on loving yourself forever, because one thing will become absolutely clear to you, that if loving one person, that is yourself, is so tremendously ecstatic and beautiful, how much more ecstasy is waiting for you if you start sharing your love with many, many people. Slowly the ripple start reaching farther and farther. You love other people, then you start loving animals, birds, trees, rocks. You can fill the whole universe with your love. A single person is enough to fill the whole universe with love, just as a single pebble can fill the whole lake with ripple. A small pebble. Only a Buddha can say, love yourself. No priest, no politician can agree with it, because this is destroying their whole edifice, their whole structure of exploitation. If a man is not allowed to love himself, his spirit, his soul becomes weaker and weaker every day. His body may grow, but he has no inner growth because he has no inner nourishment. He remains a body almost without a soul, or with only a potentiality, a possibility of a soul. The soul remains a seed, and it will remain a seed if you cannot find the right soil of love for it. And you will not find it if you follow the stupid idea, don't love yourself. I also teach you to love yourself first. It has nothing to do with ego. In fact, love is such a light that the darkness of the ego cannot exist in it at all. If you love others, if your love is focused on others, you will live in darkness. Turn your light towards yourself first. Become a light unto yourself first. Let the light dispel your inner darkness, your inner weakness. Let love make you a tremendous power, a spiritual force. And once your soul is powerful, you know you are not going to die. You are immortal. You are eternal. Love gives you the first insight into eternity. Love is the only experience that transcends time. That's why lovers are not afraid of death. Love knows not death. Love knows no death. A single moment of love is more than a whole eternity. But love has to begin from the very beginning. Love has to start with this first step. Love yourself. So I stop here and we'll read the rest of this chapter in our next reading session. I hope you might have enjoyed this reading. For the time being, good night, stay blessed, and once again I suggest you to listen to this audiobook after unburdening yourself, after placing all the burden of your day's activities aside in the corner of the room and on your bed with closed eyes, listen to Osho, and you will really enjoy it, and you will have really good dreams also. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Good night.